for marketers per se, as we're here to talk about marketing, you can collect a pool of potential buyers very quickly.
All right. Hi, everyone. And welcome to another episode of the HighLevel Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I'm joined by Robert Segelquist. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, you had it right.
Rob, thanks so much for coming on the show. We met a little while ago. It's great to talk to you again. And today we're talking about Facebook groups. So welcome.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it.
Rob, I've never had a Facebook group of my own. I haven't done much with Facebook group marketing. Tell us about it. I mean, you've built an app that focuses around that, but talk to me about the world of Facebook groups and why people should be building them or what you can do with them.
Yeah. So Facebook group, the cool thing is you've got an easy way to collect people to talk to them. And in the world of noisy social media, there's things you put on a profile or a page just kind of come and go. But a group is a place you can collect people and have not just yourself posting, but other people posting, so that you can build a network and build a family, quote unquote, if you will, of people that believe in the same purposes or have the same goals or have the same hobbies, or that it might just be you're into underwater basket weaving and you just want to have a group of people that talk about different techniques and the best materials to use and why you should use this over that or whatever, right?
That's a good point. I mean, I always think of it like, that's a lot of work. I got to maintain the group and I got to be the one publishing. But you're right. You could let the group run it itself.
Once you've got to get to a certain point of activity, but once you get to a point, a lot of times groups will run themselves. It depends on, and that's, you got to ask yourself what your purpose is in running it. But, for marketers per se, as we're here to talk about marketing, you can collect a pool of potential buyers very quickly. Mm-hmm. And you can have people in a room that want to know about your thing. Like I have a group based on Zapier and automation for small business.
Interesting.
So I do lessons on automation, but I also get clients out of there because they realize they don't want to do it themselves, or it's more than they understand or more than they have the time to do. And so I've got that little pool of people that I can go, hey, I got some time this weekend. Who wants, an hour at a cut rate? And let's talk about a project we can do. And
yeah, so that makes total sense.
And you can get clients out of a group.
Now, let me ask you, how do you get people to join the group? Does that happen organically, or is that something you have to put a lot of effort into?
Yes and no. It does happen organically once you get to a certain point. And this is where I'm not a group growth expert by any stretch of the imagination. So don't let me put myself in that position. I've studied them to an extent. But once you get to a certain level of activity and a certain size, you start becoming a higher priority for Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things to be mindful of when you name a group is don't name it Robert's Automation Club, because nobody knows what that's about.
Right. Name
it Zapier for small business, because now people are looking for Zapier. They're looking for automation. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say there. Like,
yeah.
The words didn't come out exactly what I wanted to. But like a friend of mine that does fitness, he wanted to call it, his fitness account, his fitness coaching program or something. And it was like, no, call it, Fat Dads Get Fit or something like that, where there's a keyword rich value there. People are going to look at this and say, oh, I know what that's about, not look at it and go, I don't know what this is or why I'm seeing it.
Right.
So yes, you do get organic growth over time. It's like anything, the more effort you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. Mm-hmm. So promoting it on your own profile or page and running traffic, quote unquote traffic, but talking about it and bringing people into it will help it build. But it will build itself over time once Facebook gets a hold of it.
And now I'm assuming this is why your app was born. But I think once you do get a group going, you quickly run into the fact that, like, wait a minute, Facebook doesn't really want me taking these people outside of this group, right? They don't really want me, how much information about these people does Facebook give you access to?
Their profile. I mean, whatever you get, and that's only if you add them as a friend and reach out to them. And that's one of the catch-22s of groups is you're on a third-party platform. You have no control over Facebook. And I mean, we're talking about this in December of 2020 for anybody seeing this in the future. But think about the number of people that you and I both know, Chase, that are getting slapped right now. Ad accounts shut down, profiles banned. I don't know how many people I've known in the last 2 weeks that have had profiles clipped. Just
my sister-in-law.
Yeah. And some of them are like people that aren't even really doing anything, quote unquote, markety or bad, or, if you're posting crap and you're way off in left field with whatever thing you're into and Facebook closes you down, that's one thing. But there's people who aren't really doing anything wrong that are getting clipped. So you're running a Facebook group, you've got a couple hundred, couple thousand people in it, and you get your profile banned one day, and now you just lost that entire pot. So the downside of working in that is that you don't have access to those people outside of the platform you're working with them on.
So was I accurate? Was that what spawned your Groups Pro app? Is that like, hey, okay, we need to get smarter than this. We need to be able to get this database of my group out of here so that I can do what I want with it?
Bingo. I mean, I'm not going to, and I don't think anybody's going to look at this and say that I'm the original person who had that idea. I'm definitely not. I copied somebody else's idea and made it better. I used one of the other tools in the market, kind of like HighLevel. They said, hey, ClickFunnels isn't good enough. We're going to build a better version. Or whatever their inspiration was per se. Sure. But I looked at some of the other tools in the market and said, there's issues here. Let's see what we can do to make it better. And
so what were those shortcomings?
Loss of data, loss of connections. The one I used, you would literally you would hit approve and people would just disappear. Their info would not end up on the end point. It would just be gone in transition. And so
let me see if I can articulate this for people who may be watching who might be like, I don't understand what they're talking about. So you make a Facebook group, right? You get all these people who've opted in. Now you've got this pool of however many people. And you're like, shoot, I want to send them an email, right? Like I'd love to be able to send these people an email to try to pitch them something or notify them about something. But you can't. You could post in the Facebook group, but that's it, right? And we all know, I was explaining this to somebody else the other day. You get on Facebook for 10 minutes, you can physically only see so many things, right? So Facebook's got this constant battle of like figuring out what is worth your time or not. And so that post from that group that you joined 6 months ago probably isn't going to make it into what they actually see. So as a smart marketer, you're like, I can't rely on just this group. I need to be able to market directly to these people. Right. So then you're like, all right, great. Well, how do I do that? I can click in and I can see their profiles, but you can't actually see their email, right?
Right.
And even if you could, you would have to manually copy it and then go manually paste it somewhere.
Right.
But Facebook does give you that information via their API, I'm assuming. Or is this like, does it scrape or how do you get the data out?
No, this is all white hat. There are tools out there that do some gray hat and black hat scraping of data people don't give you. This is strictly based on the 3 questions you ask when somebody joins a group.
Okay.
So when you set up a group, you can ask 3 questions. And like the HighLevel group, you ask what email you use to use HighLevel because y'all are a members only group. Hashtag Groups Pro can approve only those people. Anyway, we'll get there in a minute. But from the standpoint of marketing, you can collect people. And so like the 3 questions I recommend everybody ask primarily is what's your email so we can send you our freebie, whether it's a free PDF or a guide or a video course or, whatever it might be. A lot of people have some sort of a free front end offer they'll give away just to trade for somebody's email address.
Super smart. Makes sense.
And then the other 2 things, there's several questions you can ask, but where are you in your journey? Knowing if somebody's just getting into something they're doing or they've been doing it a while, they're a pro at it, just looking to help other people. How did you find my group so that you kind of know where your traffic sources are from or who's promoting you or whatever. And then what issues are you having? If you're in marketing, are you having trouble with lead generation or closing deals or content generation or whatever? That kind of a thing, because that allows you to know what to tell your group so that they go, oh, hey, I like this stuff. I want to engage in this group more. I want to learn more of this guy's stuff. And then if you're selling something, as we all know, the more good free information you give away, the more people are willing to pay to get what you really know on the back end.
So part of my ignorance, but when you create a group, Facebook allows you to ask 3 questions. Are they open-ended or are they? Okay.
Yeah, you can ask 3. I think it's a 200 character box. So, there's a limit to how much data they can put in there. And they actually have.
So, super smart tip number 1, ask for an email, but have a reason why, right?
Correct.
I need your email to send you something cool.
Right.
Makes sense. Great. And then second one was ask them where they are in the journey of whatever the group is about.
Yeah. If you're marketing to them, you want to know where they're at, because then you can kind of target certain information. If it's somebody that's new, you can target to that person, say, hey, this is what we can do to help you out. And if you are doing sales outreach one-to-one or something like that, you know more of who you're talking to than, so
Gotcha.
yeah.
And what was the third one?
Third is typically what struggles are you having or what do you want to learn?
Gotcha.
So, depending on what the conversation topic is, so like for my Zapier group, what tools do you use Zapier with and what do you want to know about Zapier? And that way I know, hey, if I'm, I have a lot of people that are using ClickFunnels, so I can do more ClickFunnels oriented content, or a lot of people that use HighLevel, so I can do HighLevel oriented content, or whatever it may be, so that I know what I can talk about to resonate with my members.
Gotcha. Okay. So now you're catching this data up front as people join the group, and now Facebook makes that data available to you via their API.
It's not even via API. So it's literally when you go to approve people in a group, you see those 3 questions, and you either catch the data now or forever hold your peace. It's gone. Once you hit approve, it's gone.
Interesting.
Unless they change something, which I've heard rumors about. I haven't seen it firsthand, so I don't know. But at this point, it's just gone data. And so what we do is we scrape that data for you, because you could copy and paste it. You're going to copy and paste a name, copy and paste an email, copy and paste a third answer, fourth. So now you've got 4 times you've copied and pasted just to get this person's data. Or I know people who screenshot stuff.
Right.
They'll get on their phone and go to their group and screenshot. I'm like, and what good did that do you? Because you're never going to sit down and transcribe it. You're never going to you're never going to finish the process.
That's a nightmare. Yeah.
But we scrape that data. We quote unquote scrape. We just do a scraping of that page and take that data out, send it, and save it for you.
Gotcha. And then do you guys do the automatic approval so that people just get let into the group after your system has the data?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a ton of sense.
This is turning more into a pitch than about groups. Sorry.
No, this is very interesting because, like I said, I haven't done much with groups, so I'm very curious as to how the mechanics of them work.
Right.
So I think this has been good. So, okay, cool. So now your app you've built, that's cool that it saves you all that manual work, but clearly the additional upside is that you've gone and integrated with a bunch of popular platforms, including HighLevel, right?
Bingo. Correct. So, and that was one of the other downfalls of some of the other platforms that I played with before I built this, is you had to go data into a Google Sheet and then use Zapier to get it out of there. And that's not a bad thing, but the more pieces you have in the puzzle, the more likely something's going to break or something's not going to work. Or, I mean, for the last 2 weeks, Zapier's been going haywire with different things. And I've had people reaching out to me, data's not happening. And I'm like, I can't do it, man. That's like the post office breaking down. It ain't my fault. So there's
costs. I mean, if you have enough of those happening every day, you're going to hit limits, and Zapier's going to make you want to pay for that.
Bingo. If you're doing a lot of volume, it does get not expensive, but relatively expensive over time.
Right.
So we've built connections with a lot of them. HighLevel is one of the most recent ones I've added in. So now you can send somebody straight into a campaign, and each of your different groups can go to a different campaign.
Nice.
So you can have somebody going into one campaign that's for your group over here, and then this other group over here about underwater basket weaving can go to a different campaign.
So you mentioned each of your groups, and that struck me as like, I'm going to have multiple groups now. Is that common? Do people, like, once they figure out how to create and foster a group, they'll go create multiple groups around sort of a singular common goal?
Sometimes it's completely different. And some, like, I've got a buddy that has, like work related stuff, but then he runs some like local trade, these local garage sale groups on Facebook. And so, those aren't really work related per se. He makes a little bit of money off of that, but it's just different groups that he's got running for different purposes. So
I think it's so interesting. I mean, when I was checking out your website, I was surprised at how many video testimonials you have already. And I'm like, man, Facebook groups, this is a huge thing that I just have never, explored or looked into.
I mean, they're important enough that Facebook ran a video commercial ad during the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
So I guess they get some sort of credit.
Yeah, I would guess. Super cool. Well, I know that you made slides, and I think I derailed you because I just started hammering you with questions. But was there anything in the slide deck that you want to point out or cover about groups?
I think we covered almost all of it. I'm going to go pull it up and double check it while we're sitting here talking, but I think we got at least all the major points. one thing we didn't cover is content of, so kind of the, so back 2 steps. You've got a group, you're collecting their data, you're collecting their email address, you're sending it to HighLevel. Now, what are we doing with it? And so that's where, you know, a constructed email welcome sequence, my brain just kind of stalled out there, having an idea of a welcome sequence and what you want to do with that, because, and you know, there's a lot of different theories, and you know, I'm not saying I'm the end all be all by any stretch of the imagination, but the things you want to do there. And so the first thing you want to do, if you've promised a freebie of some sort, if it's a free PDF, free ebook, video course, mini course, whatever it might be, deliver that, whether it's login for another platform, login for membership area, or just a link to the PDF in your Google Drive, or whatever it might be. Maybe it's a blog posted on your website and you're just sending them to that content so they know where it's at. Deliver that to them. And then you want to start establishing yourself as an expert in the space you're in, so that when you're ready to pitch them, you're ready to go. And then there's this dirty 4-letter word in this world. It starts with an S, and it sounds like sell. You should be selling them. The whole point of this, right, is to sell them something. And Austin Dixon's a guy that I've followed for about a year now, and his theory is pitch early and pitch often. And I subscribe to that, in that there's really no point in having content if it doesn't have a CTA in it. So if you're sending emails to somebody, that doesn't mean it every single email, but if you've got like a 5-email sequence welcoming somebody into your group, at least 2 or 3 of those should have, if nothing else, a PS, hey, you can buy this here, or some sort of sales body in 1 or 2 of those emails to pitch them something that they can buy, whether it's a cheap, a low $20 product, or a $10,000, you know, full consulting program, whatever it is, you know, get it out there and get it in front of them.
You mentioned in that first video on your website that every person in your group is worth at least $1 a month. And I was like, that's an interesting way to think about it.
Every email on your list is worth $1 a month. And so if you're increasing that number by growing your group, then yeah, they should be worth at least $1 a month.
It's a great way to think about it, because it's like, if you're not getting at least $1 a month for every email in your list, you're doing something wrong. You're leaving something on the table. Okay, well, now my gears are turning. So would you mind sharing with us? I'm curious now. You said you have a group about Zapier integrations for small businesses. What do you sell them? What do you pitch them?
Mostly services. My welcome sequence covers several different automation tools that I use. So one of them that I sell them is Groups Pro, believe it or not. But some of the different tools. Bonjoro is a video. You ever seen Bonjoro? It's a little video chat where
we basically copied the functionality into the HighLevel app. Okay. A lot of people don't know that. You can do personalized video responses right in the HighLevel app.
I didn't know that y'all built that in. But yeah, so things like that. There's several different tools that I have listed in there. A link tracking shortener tool.
So it's all affiliate stuff for you. That's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of it's affiliate stuff, because
that's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, it's an automation space, and then I can email them later on with other things. And I think one of my intro emails does kind of have like a, hey, we can do a one-on-one consulting type deal, and here's what it looks like. I haven't been taking care of that group lately, so I've kind of been distracted with some other things going on. So I haven't been tending to that and pushing content in there like I should be. But it is.
But there is a way for somebody to give you money without you having to do anything when they join your Facebook group.
Bingo.
Got it. Super cool. Well, do you want to do a quick screen share and show us what it looks like?
Let me think.
Or do you have some sensitive data on your screen? I know.
Well, I always try to avoid showing people's emails when I just do approvals. Right. Let me. You know what we could do though? I think I've got a video on the sales page that you checked out. I think we can just grab the middle of that. And
where I was going with this is basically super easy. I did it the other day. You go grab your API key from a sub account on the company page. You paste it in. First you choose HighLevel, you paste it in, and that was basically it.
Yeah, I mean the connection itself, is nothing at all set up. It's a 5-second setup to get into HighLevel, and then to do your approvals is literally just go to your group and hit approve. This is showing a setup. Trying to see if I got an approval clip in this video. I think I do. Yeah, it's right.
Well, why are you doing that? So tell me more about your customers. Like what kind of groups? I'm just curious. What are the topics that pop out?
I've had all variety of stuff from like the general hobbyist on whatever.
What's the biggest group that you've worked with?
The biggest customer I've worked with is ClickFunnels.
Oh, I saw that.
They were using it for one of their live events, and I was hinting at this earlier. Is we've got a pre-approval mode where you can only approve people who are on a qualified list, and so they were using it to run those because they were moving like 5,000 people into that group, and rather than manually saying Chase at HighLevel.com, he's on the paid list. Okay, let him in. Bill at gmail.com. Nope, he's not on the list. Susie at she's on the list. Rather than doing that, there's a way we can run a pre-approved list, and it literally only approves people who are, they give you an email that's on your known list. So they were using it for that.
We should talk about that for our new HighLevel Pro group.
I can hook it up. I know a guy.
Yeah, we could probably use that because I think right now we're doing that manually, cross-checking to make sure that they're actually a pro plan holder.
Yeah, and it's not bad when you're doing 2 or 3 of those or one a day or something, but if you get beyond that, it just gets so time consuming to sit and do that, that it's not a pleasant experience for anybody involved. Can I share my screen 2? You got my screen?
Yep.
All right. So this is literally, you come in, you hit the extension, you say members.
Oh, right. It's a Chrome extension, right? Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a Chrome extension. Members that have answered all questions. And then it comes in and it says, oh, hey, approve. Like, it's a little bit slower than that now because we were running into issues where we were firing fast and people's computers could catch up. But we've slowed it down a little bit. But yeah, so it's literally that easy. You run it and people get.
And do you store the data too somewhere else? Or
because we have this database right here for you. Yeah, we do quote unquote store it. In our terms of service, we don't do anything with that. It's not like we're reselling that data anywhere or anything. Right. It's just there. You have reference to it. If you delete it on that page right there, then it goes away. So we don't do anything else with it.
Gotcha.
But we do store it there for your purposes. I recommend everybody puts it on Google Sheet as well, just so that you have, kind of like with Facebook. Facebook locks you out for some odd reason, you lose access. Not that I'm ever going to lock you out unless you quit paying me, but if something was to happen and my server goes down and you want to go access your data and you can't get to it for some odd reason, then having a Google Sheet backup is just a good secondary to have.
Gotcha.
It was the same sense. With email platforms. So, having backups of your data is not a bad thing to have laying around sometimes.
So, Rob, you mentioned something about white label, right? So HighLevel is obviously white label. How does somebody white label this, and why would they be interested in that?
Yeah. So with white labels, now that we have the HighLevel integration built, we realize that it's pretty easy to get all the white labels added in. So let's say you have Chase's CRM just as your white label version, and you don't want people to know that you're a white label of HighLevel. So we actually have a spot now where for a little fee, because I have to pay my developer to do the work, but we can add in Chase's CRM. My brain just quit working there for a second. Chase's CRM in, and then you'll be able to have your own integration point so that you can actually tell people, hey, we integrate, Chase's CRM integrates with Groups Pro direct integration, and you're maintaining your white label status.
Gotcha. That's cool.
It kind of keeps things on the DL for those that want to do that.
Gotcha. All right. So what does this cost? And if somebody's interested, where should they head?
So the pricing has, we're kind of in a weird spot with pricing. As we're doing this, it's $20 a month if you buy monthly, and that's unlimited groups, and $297 one time if you pay the one-time fee with me directly. We're on AppSumo right now for $97. That gives you 2 groups. So if you only have 1 or 2 groups you're running, or you're just getting started and just want to go that route, that's an option. If you get down the road and need to upgrade, we can always, I'm not going to take advantage of anybody. I'll make it a fair deal to you. probably the first of the year my prices are going to go up. So I don't know when exactly this is going to get released, but right now, as we stand right now, it's $20 a month and $297 one time, or the AppSumo deal is $97.
Gotcha.
Our in-house site is groupspro.io.
Okay.
And if you are interested in the AppSumo deal, it's AppSumo, when you hit the search box and type in Groups Pro. I don't know. There's a link to it, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So
gotcha. All right. Well, this is definitely going to go out before the new year. So if you're watching this and you're interested, get on it now before January, because it sounds like the prices are going to go up.
Yep, prices are about to increase. And then on the white label thing, just reach out to me and I'll set you up. I might get a sales page set up for that, but it might just be one of those, just shoot me an email and I'll send you an invoice kind of things.
Gotcha.
I don't imagine that's going to be a huge volume moving type deal.
Gotcha. But, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Rob.
Appreciate it, Chase. It was fun.
It's good to see you again. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.